First, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. TRIO is a life-changing organization. Not only have they made an impact in my life, but they continue to make an impact every day in the life of others. My story starts out like many others, not the same, but similar. Adversity, pain, suffering, but then redemption. I think there is a beautiful thing in adversity. It reminds me of a diamond, a beautiful stone that goes through a lot to be truly seen. To make a diamond, it goes through a rigorous process of high temperatures and tons of pressure. Then it takes someone to mold it and polish it, giving it a second chance. TRIO was one of the organizations that helped me get that chance. They saw the beauty under all my hurt and helped me embrace it and find my passion. I grew up in a single-family home, plagued with drug addiction, abuse, and disease. For a time, things weren't always bad, but then my mom got cancer. She got sick, fell into the wrong crowd, and started to do drugs. This made home life a terrible place to grow up. Our house was literally the dope spot. My only retreat from this life was my dear grandmother, who instilled in me great values. But for some reason, I always wanted to be with my mom. I always ran back to her, no matter how bad it was. At times, I had really good foster homes, but I yearned to be close to my mother, so I ran away from every good place. My mother's many boyfriends did a number on my family. The physical and mental abuse we endured, nobody should ever go through. Dealing with this until my teenage years made me only want to escape. At home, I was missing a father figure, something I always wanted, but that never came. This made me get the attention in other ways. It came in the form of gangs. I ended up joining a blood gang in my neighborhood. To me, it felt like the family I was missing at home. The older homies gave me that attention I was missing. They clothed me, they fed me, they gave me money, but this was all a ruse to get what they wanted. In a gang, it's all about you. You get what you need, and the rest falls by the wayside. The attention felt great, but this ended me up in a worse position. Those years in the gang still give me nightmares. Along with the trauma I faced as a child, I left with a strong case of PTSD. While in the gang, I was shot in a fist fight and ended up getting a year and day in prison for protecting my little sister. The bullets ripped through my legs, left me with something worse than it all, a drug addiction to prescription painkillers. A number of years in the gang have passed. I have friends that have been killed, friends that are in prison, and friends that are addicted to drugs and live on the streets. We were all just kids, but the street life made us grow up real quick. Not many people can turn around from that. My addiction from painkillers threw me on a whirlwind of self-destruction, hurting myself and the people that truly loved me, like my grandmother. I stole, I took, I hurt, anything so I wouldn't be sick. The drug Oxycontin was truly my downfall. It is a drug that is supposed to help, a drug that was prescribed to me because of the pain. But when it was time to get off of it, my body yearned for it. On these drugs, I truly hit rock bottom. For years, I struggled with the addiction, partly with self-medication, trying to bury the trauma that I faced, painkillers, weed, alcohol, anything I could get my hands on just to not feel the hurt. It wasn't until I found out I was having my son that truly snapped me out of it. I always wanted a kid, a family to love me, the one thing that I was missing all of my life. I remember the day I found out I was going to be a dad. I had just gotten high. Then I got the news. I told myself I didn't want my son to ever go through anything that I had gone through, so it was time for a change. I ended up checking into the Methadone Maintenance Treatment Center. There I learned how to be a normal person again. I enrolled in a technical college program and started to figure out who I was and what I wanted to be. For so long, I thought I could only do one thing, and that was to be a gang member. I ended up completing the methadone program and graduating, being drug-free for the first time in years. I completed technical college, but knew it wasn't what I wanted to do. But it was the first time I finished something that I started and was very proud. After graduation, I got depressed. I was overweight from the methadone and felt like life wasn't moving anywhere. I couldn't get a job because of my tattoos, and I was just lost. By then, I was expecting my third son and knew I had to figure something out. I ended up working for a nonprofit where I started to do case management for housing. There, I felt like I could really make a difference. I started giving speeches to DSHS on how the programs helped me, and I found out that my input was of value to them. In the first time in years, I felt like I had a purpose. I began speaking to youth and going into prisons, teaching life skills on how I changed my life, but then the nonprofit suddenly lost funding. I knew I could never get this job again without a proper education, so I took a leap of faith and enrolled in Pierce College's social service mental health program. Pierce was literally life-changing. My first couple of weeks, I found a flyer, and it had information about TRIO. Right then, I probably should have signed up, but I tried some stuff on my own. It wasn't until about 2 quarters in that I realized I needed some help, so I decided to sign up. One of my problems was I couldn't figure out what credits I needed, and I ended up taking a whole bunch of classes that I didn't need. The first meeting I had with Terry was amazing. He truly met all my expectations and went above and beyond for me. That's what they do at Trio. They truly care about your education, and they want you to succeed. It was amazing to have them in my corner. The resources that they gave me, the computer use, the help with scholarships, the classes they offer, teaching me financial literacy, college transfer prep, all the things that I truly needed help with. Terry was not only my advisor, but he was a great mentor. He supported me in my decisions and encouraged me when I decided to take a different route. Without the help of Trio, I probably would have never found my true calling. I was able to do things I never thought possible. I decided to sign up for the student government. I applied for president. I could not believe it when I got the call saying I was the president of the student government. The same guy that was addicted to painkillers. The same guy that was addicted to painkillers, who got shot, who did time in prison. I truly had something my kids could be proud of. One of my meetings with Terry, I had to pick some electives. So after a quick discussion, I decided I would take an acting class. It was something I was always interested in. While at that class, I felt truly alive. I felt like I had found the one thing I was meant to do. I don't know if anybody else ever been through this, but when you find that thing that has been calling you your whole life, it truly feels like you are at home when you find it. While in acting class, I had a life-changing experience. One of my teachers awarded me a scholarship to the Seattle Film School Screenwriting Intensive for my performance in a play. That scholarship truly changed my trajectory and life. While at the screenwriting school, I met Hollywood screenwriter Jonathan Kesey, who has wrote many movies in Hollywood for Will Smith and others. I began to tell my story, and we decided to turn it into a television show. Right now, this instant, as soon as I leave here, I fly back to Seattle and I begin filming the pilot to our series. We are already in talks with major networks, ABC, Sony. This year, I have been already in 12 movies, have a series coming out about my life, and a documentary in the works based on my life. I plan on writing a book and taking this to the next level. I was front page in my college magazine where they talk about where successful people had gotten their start, with a picture of me that said Axter next to it. The picture that's used. Yeah. I was just in the new Friday the 13th movie and have many other projects in the works. I just applied to the Juilliard School of Acting and to USC Film School. I have an amazing GPA and I'm on track to graduate after this quarter. I plan to get my master's in either acting or film. I didn't even think this was a thing I could do, but then with the help of Trio, my options are wide open. The resources they gave me and the help truly let me figure out who I really was and who I really wanted to be. I will always have a special place in my story for Trio. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to stand here on the stage today and tell you about the amazing journey that I took to get here. I mean, I was just on King 5 News talking about my series, and I had an article come out on NPR, and without the help of this organization, I would have never had the courage to take that acting class. Thank you, Terry. You've been a great friend, mentor, and the work you do for the students at Pierce College is truly amazing. You deserve all the recognition in the world. You truly helped change my life. Life. What can I say about life? It is amazing. I was a poor, sad kid who dealt with pain and abuse, but with the help of organizations like Trio, I was able to get a second chance. Now I want to show that there is another way, that you can overcome anything if you put your mind to it. I will end this by telling you some mottos I now live by. First is to never stop learning, because we never know it all, and we push to learn more, to teach and to speak life into the ones that need it the most. This is so true. To me, if I would have stopped learning, I would have never found this great adventure that I'm on. Life is amazing because you can learn anything. You can get good at whatever you want. So try new things, learn things, experience things, and never give up, and do what you love. Second is your story is powerful, so tell it. You never know who has been through the same things you have been through. Your story can change someone's life. It gives them hope, and it can change their trajectory like mine was changed. Last is never give up, push for your dreams. Do you have a dream that you have always wanted to do? Well, do it. The worst thing you can have is regret. The regret that you didn't try. Try new things, find your passion, love wholeheartedly, and give everything your all. Push to be the best you can be. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because I know if I didn't have the help that I got from Trio and other organizations along the way in my journey, I would not be here today. Thank you.